Hey, Shackers. It's Asif Khan. I'm CEO, Editor-in-Chief, EIEIO here at Shacknews. That stands for Extremely Intelligent Extreme Intelligence Officer at a time of AI. I've invented EI to make line go up. And speaking of line going up, we have some news that we're going to break down here and the reaction to some news. But I'm joined by our community manager, Dennis White.
Howdy.
And our senior news editor, TJ Denzer. Now,
Hey,
to give people a frame of reference, TJ, you reported this news today here at Shacknews.com. It seems like we were the first to break this news in the esports FGC world. Qiddiya City-owned RTS fully acquires EVO. This is a Saudi-backed company that had a stake in the EVO esports tournament series, but has now fully acquired it. That was the big news today. And boy howdy, is the FGC responding to this and reacting on all sorts of social media platforms.
Been quite a doozy.
this was like there were breadcrumbs leading up to this today because this has been kind of a weird string of events since the late half of last year. It was then reported that Sony was going to be exiting its stake on EVO and passing it off to this group, which was called NODWIN Gaming. That's an Indian group, but Sony was still their parent company, so Sony still kind of had a foot in the door, so to speak. And on the other half of that was RTS, which up to when it was announced, RTS was still independent, but they were funded, supported financially by Qiddiya. And then only a little bit later, Qiddiya City, the Qiddiya Investment Corporation announced they were acquiring RTS entirely. So that was late last year. That was September in 2025. And then today we got a press release straight from the horse's mouth, straight from EVO PR, that the Qiddiya-owned RTS has now fully acquired EVO. NODWIN Gaming has sold their stake. RTS has full ownership of the event now.
So yeah, that sums up the story. Thank you for doing that, and thank you for reporting it. This is an important story. We care a lot about the fighting game community here at Shacknews. We care about esports a lot here, but obviously we cover fighting games pretty intently here. I know you actually had some gameplay drop today from another Saudi-owned company, oddly enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, I figured we would go to social media and just go straight to the community, see how the community is responding. So I'm going to start over on everyone's favorite short-form posting platform, Blue Sky, where a lot of people are sharing their opinions. First one, I'm just going to start reading these off. Okay.
Sounds good.
Do I dare refresh, or should I just go? I guess I could just go.
I don't mind just going.
Let's just go. So, Fundead, in all caps, says, fuck!
Accurate.
Jonathan Rigsby says, what a terrible way for a beautiful tournament to die. EVO was the pinnacle of the FGC, a community-run event staffed by volunteers that was the equivalent of the Olympics for fighting games. Now it is just another way for the Saudis to sports wash their reputation. Man, I couldn't agree more with that comment that EVO truly felt like the Olympics of fighting games and of esports. Like, I watch EVO like people are watching the Winter Olympics right now. To me, it had been the biggest esport event of the year. I attended a lot of them back before the Death Stranding. 2016 to 2019 was kind of like when I was able to attend, and I got to witness the rise of Arslan Ash. I got to witness that iconic losers bracket run by MKLeo in Smash. Like, I got to witness the fall of Smash 4 when it was 3 out of 4 of the semifinalists were all Bayonetas, and people were literally walking out during the grand final. So I've seen ups and downs, hell, we've gotten to watch TJ compete, in advance, and hear about his stories. We've seen Ozzy Mejia, compete in a Windjammers tournament that Austin Creed threw on just as a side tournament. I completely agree with Jonathan Rigsby's sentiment here. But on to the next reaction. Hashtag boycott EVO, says Azure Alley Dog.
Oh, that's an easy one.
I have a feeling we'll be seeing a lot more of that one and as we get closer to some of the events this year.
Yeah, plus it's not like the prices have definitely gone up as well. So I mean that's something that's EVO has not been as cost efficient for the actual FGC to actually go to. So yeah, I don't think there's going to be too much of a problem for a lot of folks to skip out on.
John Casey Thompson says, "Welp, it was a good run, folks."
We got memories.
Yeah. I mean, I will say that it was a nice stretch between when EVO came back and this last year. It was nice, even as the writing started to appear on the wall.
But like, we got to see like Street Fighter kind of get its footing back in the FGC. Like Street Fighter V was, Street Fighter's always gonna be fun to watch, but Street Fighter V was not that great of a game, and Street Fighter 6 is a great game, and it's fun to watch, and, like, we got to see storylines, like, we saw Angry Bird a few years ago, like, I love the story of that unknown player that shows up to EVO and wins, you know? That's such a cool story. It's like Rocky, it's like all those things that people love in sports, right? This is go ahead.
And, I mean, being out there as I was, doing the coverage I was doing, I had been calling EVO my Super Bowl event of the year as far as coverage goes for several years because, like, man, there was nothing quite like it. The energy was so good, the games were so good. I got to play in it and take something back that I could be proud of, in addition to all the cool coverage we were working on together. And it's like, it was a good run.
But also, just I'm a casual. I am not good at fighting games at all. But I love video game excellence. And seeing that, like, you didn't get this many legends of different games together at many other events. Like, there's there's different, like, Call of Duty League stuff. Like, the FPS scene has their moments. I'm a huge Quake fan, so like seeing the Rafa at QuakeCon and stuff, but like that's one game. Like seeing all of these different games, Sunday at EVO, at Mandalay Bay, and like an actual boxing ring was such a cool vibe and moment for this whole the whole world of esports. And it's gone now. The magic is left. Punk here. Punk McFox over there on Blue Sky says, "Guys, I think we need to stop allowing Saudi Arabia to purchase shares in foreign IPs and companies. If only."
Yeah, and the big problem right now is who's gonna stop them? Like, who's gonna say no? You can't do that, because it doesn't look like anyone at this point right now.
Look at what happened with EA. Like, who was involved in the EA acquisition? Donald Trump's son-in-law. So like if the president's son-in-law is involved in this stuff, I'm not saying he's not involved with Qiddiya directly, but there's all sorts of relationships between the president's administration and the Saudi Arabian government, Dubai, UAE, Qatar. I agree with the sentiment, but where's that going to come from? Like, I don't think there's any protectionism when it comes to that stuff. And, hell, Sony is the one that sold out anyway. So it's a Japanese company that sold it to a Saudi Arabian company. Like, this is now multiple levels. TJ, you did a good job breaking it down earlier, but, like, it's multiple levels of selling out at this point. But, yeah, like, I agree, but, like, I think we're going to see more of this in esports. Maybe not esports as much, but gaming, like the video game companies, and sports. There's this rumor that Rich Paul and LeBron James are thinking of starting their own basketball league with Saudi funding.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's worth noting that, like, the end goal of Qiddiya City is to create this megaplex where basically they've scraped up a whole bunch of entertainment into a giant party town. is what it sounds like they're going for, based off of everything I've read.
And they're already paying influencers and websites to say nice things about the place. Justin Wong. But VGA Fanatic here says, suddenly I don't want Smash Bros. To rejoin EVO.
Man.
Oof. Yeah, it's hey, EVO's had plenty of different games on route and path, and we got a ton of new fighting games in the mix now, with your Marvel Tokons and such trying to enter the scene. So it's gonna be interesting to see
Invincible
where
versus
people kind of go. Yeah, Invincible. Like there's some good stuff down the line, but for people trying to make a name for themselves in that scene, we'll see how much they dive in or don't dive in. Well, there's as always, money on the table.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And then we have Sean here on Blue Sky says, so much for all the queer and POC gamers.
That has been a major concern. Yes, this has been going on. I know I've talked to people that said that don't expect it to change like that, but we all see what Saudi Arabia's history has been like, and I'm sorry to say that we're not doing too much better in America, where people already feel scared for themselves and scared for their loved ones, and it's tough to be an LGBTQ person in America, let alone anywhere else right now. It's a concern, and it's a bigger concern as a group from a place that has a long-standing history of human rights violations, digs deeper into something that has been kind of a EVO and FGC in general have been kind of a bastion for LGBTQ people to kind of be themselves and come out and have fun with the rest of everybody else, and just have everybody on the same playing field, just being cool.
And it's about equality and equity, too, with race. It's never been about what race you were or what gender you were at a fighting game tournament. It was are you good at the fighting game? Did you win? Do you want to lab? Do you want to play some games? The gaming community at large has become more divisive when it comes to this topic, because there's all this whole anti-DEI, anti-woke movement in America, like you said. But, Jamal Khashoggi was murdered in Saudi Arabia for saying things against the kingdom. He was put in a suitcase, his body parts. They murdered an American journalist. And I think back to 2018 when Sonic Fox won. I think it was Mortal Kombat at the time. I can't remember which tournament it was, because they're great at a lot of different games. But they were I'm gay and I'm the greatest Mortal Kombat player in the world, was what they said in that post-game interview. Are they going to be allowed to say that?
Yeah, that's the scary part.
So, just when it comes to representation, when it comes to being able to be yourself, TJ, legitimate worries. And I think Sean's post here on Blue Sky, I think, is a very good point. And it's something that I've seen a lot of people have to address already, because Saudi money is influencing people's decision making. We have
and people are concerned about the actual safety factor at the venue and stuff like that as well. When you have this kind of thing going on, what happens if there is an incident? How much would they actually put an effort into making sure it doesn't happen on site?
Yeah, and you think back to what happened at TwitchCon this year. Safety is an issue at these events, especially now that there's a lot of FGC players, Denny, are creators too. They're popular creators on Twitch and on YouTube and stuff. And the safety of these people matters. And how much are they going to care if some LGBTQ member of the community is attacked? Are they going to do anything? Are they going to care? But also, are they even going to let them be themselves? Are they going to cut away from a post-game interview with Sonic Fox? There's a lot of questions that are not being answered today.
Yeah, and you mentioned Twitch, TwitchCon was a situation where they had an incident and they doubled down, and that's an American company. So what is Qiddiya-owned RTS going to be like when something like this happens? Is it going to be about actually making things safer, or is it going to be about the PR? Because I'm almost guaranteeing it's going to be about the PR.
And then RH Rojas here says, EVO's dead. Time for a new tournament to be born in its place. A non-Saudi funded tournament.
Which, like, there are already things, y'all. There are locals. There are big tournaments that aren't EVO.
Yeah, I think it's like, you think about like Smash. You want to talk about like the cockroach of esports. Like, you think it's dead, right? Like, oh, they got kicked out of EVO, like, you know. But like Genesis was still pretty hyped just last weekend. Like, people are still like, as long as people love video games, communities are gonna come together and play video games. And like we talked about it in our Slack earlier, like Combo Breaker, Frosty Faustings, and CEO are kind of now like those three that we can look to. Genesis just happened too, but like we can look to those and be like, hey, there's still communities out there. There's still communities and tournament organizers who care about this that are going to do stuff. And I do think Combo Breaker kind of is one of those. The one thing I'll say though, because like Denny, you're talking about safety in America, let alone overseas. I think Canada might be a great place to try to host something like Toronto, or, you know, like I think Canada. I think Canada has an opportunity to kind of be like, let's do something in Toronto. Let's do something safe. I know like Let's Make Moves has done stuff in like the Smash scene there, but like a bigger Canadian esport event, maybe something else in Europe pops off. You know, Japan. Like, I can tell you, I was just over there, guys. Like, there are esports cafes in every town in Tokyo now. And, like, you're talking, like, pop-up tournaments every night. You know, so, like, they'll never kill that. Like, they just won't.
Yeah, I remember where we're coming from, the grassroots side of things. Like, folks were playing in basements. Like, there's, like, the fighting game scene is not going to completely die.
No.
I think more importantly than ever right now, if you're looking at EVO as dead and you're thinking to yourself, we need a new tournament, you need to go ahead and Google locals around you, because I almost guarantee you there are some.
Yes.
And those need more support than ever right now, because like this is like, if there isn't a local around you, then yes, you should start one. But there's a good chance that you have an FGC local nearby if you live near any sort of major city. Or any sort of, like, just suburban areas.
Yeah, Amelia Karras over there on Blue Side says, looks bad, to be quite honest. Yeah, I can see that. Marduk says, this fucking sucks, man. The Bonesaw folks have all the money, and they'll just take everything you care about because no one's going to do shit about it. Man.
That's kind of what I was getting at earlier, but in much more vibrant words.
Funky Studios says, I think I miss Sony.
They've had their own problems today.
Yeah, they have. Piano Man says, we'll make our own EVO. With love for fighting games and their awesome community and a ceremonial prize pool of $1 and none of this.
Yeah,
that's so mean. At least EVO Japan gives you a controller.
Dude, that Nintendo Live tournament for Smash Ultimate was comical. Like, Sakurai was just like the disappointed uncle of all disappointed uncles. But yeah, like there's a sense of pride in just being the best, right? It's at the core of esports. Another just straight up boycott EVO from Atomic Punk. Orchestructive says there should be a new FGC tournament called OVE, OVE, and it should look in every possible way like EVO and be run by people who actually kept EVO alive and running all these years, and let Kushner and his ilk have bought the company. Leave they're saying leave Kushner and his ilk who have bought the company an empty shell no one cares about anymore. I mean that's with what money?
That's that part. But it's also a situation where like folks are gonna go where the other people are as well. Like if all your friends are going to a different tourney and stuff like that, and it becomes that scene, like it's going to happen naturally. But also like, yes, you have your sponsored players and stuff like that might be getting involved because of like, you know, a prize pool at EVO and stuff like that. But that's also a situation where we don't know what it's going to look like down the line more years from now, where like they might get stingy or raise prices in different ways that are even higher than they are now. In which case, they pull a Capcom Cup and try and charge a pay-per-view price to even watch the thing, and then no one's interested.
I wonder if like something like what happened in golf with the PGA Tour and Live Golf Tour, if something like that happens where there's a splintering of the player pools, right? So like there's a group of people who say fuck Evo, we're doing our thing over here, and then there's still like those, like you said, those sponsored players and the people who want that, they're chasing that bag, that are going to be over there in the Saudi-backed tournaments in EVO and that whole circuit of EVO tournaments now. I think it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out, Denny, for sure. Because, like, I'll say this. If Arslan Ash doesn't show up to something, or if Sonic Fox doesn't show up to something, or Knee, like some of these great icons of gaming in these different franchises, if they're not there, is your EVO championship, does it get an asterisk?
It becomes like that vacuum goes into place where you're like, okay, if the best aren't here, are we really calling them the best? It's like, we get the same thing in wrestling all the time. And there's two people standing in the ring, and then they're like pointing at the WrestleMania sign, and then the crowd's like, neither of you are the top of the top right now.
Yeah.
Like they should be the same kind of situation. And of course, when they show up other places, then that becomes a bigger deal because they weren't at EVO.
We got Ricardo here. Kiko over there on Blue Sky says, felt extremely melancholy about the choice to not go to EVO this year, mostly off the back of the partial acquisition of Sony stake in it by RTS. Now feeling much more vindicated in my decision to do it and cease supporting EVO as a whole. I've seen a lot of this. A lot of people are just like, I already wasn't going to EVO. This is kind of cemented not going to EVO. Because a lot of people forget the ownership aspect of this. People are just like, I can't afford this. It's very expensive to attend EVO.
That ticket just to go there and get in the door and not even play any of the games is pretty intense already. And you're not even talking about airfare and hotel.
Ghost Mode says, welp, honestly, fuck Jared Kushner.
Evergreen statement.
Matthias Wolfberg says, look, I know this had essentially happened. Some of the grammar on Blue Sky is not great, guys. I know this had essentially already happened, but still, shit news to end the day of shit news. Support your damn locals.
Yes.
That part. 100% that part. This is just a very upset-looking Ed from Ed and Eddie gif from, I don't know who that was. Alex Armont over there on Blue Sky. Rod Shark says, it was only August of last year that Sony gave up EVO ownership, and at that time, RTS was only backed by Qiddiya. And you're saying between then and now, RTS became fully owned by Qiddiya, and then bought the other half of the ownership for EVO from NODWIN. Terrible time to be a fighting gamer.
Wrong on that last one. Like, yes, everything in those events, yes, that's what happened. But it is not a bad time to be a fighting gamer.
Yeah, there's a lot of good games coming out.
Yeah, it's a bad time right now.
It's a bad time if you want the best competition in the game to be like clean and honorable. But as far as like, is it a good, like, there are so many good games and there's so many people that want to play them out there. So like, don't tell me it's a bad time to be a fighting gamer. It's not. And we have so much good stuff on right on the
sticks.
Yeah. Good news here. Good news.computer apparently on Blue Sky says, is human rights violation money what it finally takes to fix the misaligned EVO logo after 2 decades?
Oh, no, I've never noticed that before. That bothers me.
Stefan Kleckner says, I mean, well, shrug. I guess my place as usual. What even is EVO anymore? It hasn't been what it used to be in decades. Response here. So, yeah.
That's kind of true. A lot of old heads from like the 2010 eras, and even a little bit before that, like they often like told me about like, you don't know what it was like when we were just going over to this shack in the middle of the woods and playing games together. Like, so I get it. EVO has gone through a lot of different permutations. I don't even think this is particularly the worst one, although it remains to be seen.
I don't know. Yeah, like you said, we don't know yet. But I think based on this, the response of the community, it might be. Well, that Punchy Pup says, well, that sucks. Shame I never went before, but it already wasn't seeming worth it before this, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, it's an expensive thing to go to. We got Tarzangi basically with a I told you so. People told me I was stirring up something that wasn't going to happen, that I was an alarmist. Even had journalists tell me that there was no indication that EVO and Saudi would ever get in bed together. I got death threats, doxxed, and had YouTube videos made of me. We're making a YouTube video of you right now, and we're not doxing you, buddy. And it's part of why I moved here. He's talking about Blue Sky. But he has a screenshot of his tweet from 2024, July 6th of 2024. He said, if EVO goes to Riyadh as rumored, I'd hate to do it, but I would have to boycott EVO in general. A large portion of the FGC is LGBT and is not safe for us to travel to a country that prosecutes LGBT people, and speaking with your wallet is the only power many of us have.
Yeah, this was a pretty constant conversation, like, last year when we started hearing about RTS in Qiddiya City. It's, like, I understand that, like, you're probably not going to get in trouble if you just go over there and just walk around and don't. But that's like saying, like, just keep your mask on and nobody will notice. That's a fucked up thing. Yeah, and I don't want to do that.
Yeah, like, hey, if you're not yourself, you'll be safe. You don't even know that. Especially in this panoptic world that we're in now, where they're monitoring, like, you know, the government's monitoring your social media behavior, TJ. Or, like, they're scanning your passport. They're face scanning you at airports now. Like, I don't know. I don't know if you're safe. I don't think.
Telling me that, like, I don't think. And some people are out there telling me that, like, the solution is you just got to keep your mask on the entire time you're there. Don't let down your guard. Mind your manners. Obey the customs, and you'll be fine. And, like, okay. So I just have to, like, be stressed out and anxious all the time I'm there.
Why the fuck would I go there if I have to do all that?
That's like telling somebody to just, you know, take a drive as a black person down to the deep south, and they'll be fine if you just, you know, just mind your manners for a little bit. Make sure you don't do, you know, things like, you know, drink from the wrong water fountain.
Or, like,
around the wrong people.
Denny, like, I'm like 10 minutes away from a sundown town. It's like, oh, just awesome. Go drive to a sundown town at 7 p.m., you know, and just stand in the middle of the street, but don't say anything, and you'll be fine. It's like, I don't know, man. There's a lot of K's on those buildings. But yeah, like, it's... I would never send you to Saudi Arabia, TJ. I wouldn't. Like, I just simply wouldn't. No, I wouldn't go. They treat Pakistani people, they're like shit. I got big beef with the beef that I have as a Pakistani man with Saudi Arabia goes beyond esports. It's a human rights thing, man. They treat women like shit. They treat all sorts of people like shit. They don't believe in the freedom of speech. Like, there's so many reasons to be concerned about this that go beyond esports. But, like, people are fucking mad. Like, Hypa says, I will not be attending EVO for the foreseeable future. There are better places I can spend my time and money that are more community-focused anyways. So this piece of news made that decision a lot easier for me. Well, you're welcome. As we were one of the few outlets to report this today. We were the first to report this. And
leading the charge.
But I agree. Like, I think we're seeing that. LeWolf says it's over. Yankees get out of Latin America says boo. Which is very... Well, I don't understand. That's a very interesting username on Blue Sky. They have a picture of a cat throwing a tomato at the screen. Support your locals and other majors, says Mackenzie. 100% agree. The Rose Garden says, so I guess EVO is never going to be watched by me again. Gonna be honest, this is interesting. I don't know if this is true, Rick sold out to the Saudis way too fast here to expand. I don't think Rick owned EVO. Had any say in this.
Rick was, yeah.
Rick's a TO.
Yeah. He's the guy on stage, like, directing the event and telling people where to go and organizing how it goes. But he doesn't decide who owns EVO.
Oh.
He never did.
Yeah, he also signed on, later on.
After the whole Mr. Wizard thing.
Yes, after the failure that happened there. And then, he was rocking out Combo Breaker, for the past 10 years. And he was the right guy to go to.
And if you talk about the production of EVO, it got better. If you talk about the treatment of players, it got better under Rick. So no, Dikembe Mutombo blocked this take. This is not a good take. To say that
there
Rick
are a lot of
sold
problems
out.
with EVO, but it's not Rick. Rick is probably the reason why the current iteration of EVO got so successful in the first place.
Yeah,
I can only wonder what he's thinking of or going through with this whole situation.
It's a tough position to be put in because he has, like I said, he has no say in it. Faye says, it looks like I genuinely am never attending EVO again. Support your locals. Seeing a lot of that. Ashcan says, today sucks ass. 100% agree. Che Pacat says, support your locals. Large or small. Don't have one? Maybe you can start one. That's cool. I'm hosting a Vampire Savior Monster Ball in Austin this March. Can't come to mine? Check out Texas Showdown. I'd love it if you came to mine. He dropped his start.gg link there.
That's good energy to have. I appreciate that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I like having there's enough people in the community to be advocates for a lot of, different areas too, and I like to see more of that happening where people are like, hey, we're not going to just sit down and lay down here. We got an opportunity here to make sure that, different scenes grow and it's not just doom and gloom. Texas
FGC is huge. Like, a ton of players there. And yeah, like Austin, college town, great place to do that. Love to hear that. That perfect place for community stuff, right? Like that's the perfect place to do that kind of stuff. And maybe you can even get University of Texas involved, right? Colleges can get involved in some of this stuff. I can tell you in Japan, schools are getting involved, Danny. Like my friend's high school has like an Apex Legends team that they're competing in like regionals and stuff over there.
That's cool.
So like, yeah, that stuff's happening overseas, and I think it can happen here too. Mysterious E said, I thought this shit already happened, but I mean, no, this is official now. It's official.
There's a long string of weirdness.
This is I see this energy a lot from a lot of these comments. Vector Spectre says, time to build our own EVO with blackjack and hookers. I don't know.
Whoa. You literally couldn't have EVO with more blackjack and hookers than in Las Vegas.
For real. Okay. Like, you're literally in a casino, bro. Like, I guess technically it was in the convention center recently, but back when it was in Mandalay Bay, you're literally walking by blackjack and, ladies of the night. There's a animated GIF of a Disney character putting a gun to their head. I
just picture like Joe Pesci or something, like just.
He's like, man, we're gonna start a new EVO. See,
I'll show you an EVO.
My EVO's gonna be the best EVO. Goof says, congratulations to EVO for being the first event I have negative interest in. So it's not even zero interest. It's gone down to negative. A2 Adam says, I desperately need to find some Brooklyn and NYC local scenes and fast. There's also some New Jersey locals too. But that stuff is there.
It's definitely there.
FGC is very present in NYC. Just gotta look around. Get on Reddit, get on Twitter, get on Blue Sky. I think post on the in reply to the Shacknews thing, you might be able to find one. But I'm pretty sure East Coast is very well represented when it comes to locals. So just keep your eye out.
I think some folks are getting caught up in like the like their own personal online scenes and such, and then realizing, hey, maybe we can step outside as we're heading into warmer weather and such as well, and things like that. And they're having that realization, like, hey, you know what? I haven't actually been to an event in like months, years, etc.
I'll tell you, like,
time for me to actually dust some of that off.
Like around Rutgers over there in Jersey, I know that there's some esports stuff going on there. And then, yeah, in NYC itself, there's definitely stuff going on. And I don't know about Brooklyn, but I'm sure, man, You're talking about Techno City, man. There's something going on. Whatever you're into, you can get into it in New York City, man. Ask Mom Donnie. LDB says, this news was only a matter of time, but I get that. Frankie says, God, today sucks, in capital letters. Our buddy Will Borger says, it's incredible to live in a hell world where everything only gets worse. Anyway, I'm going to Combo Breaker this year.
There we go. Come on down to Chicago.
Shout out
we'll
to
take care of you.
Shout out to Will, and shout out to the city of Chicago, which honestly, in my eyes, Combo Breaker is now the biggest FGC tournament that I care about. Like, it is.
Yeah, I've been going for 10 years and I have a good time every time.
I'm not far.
Also,
I might have to go, man. I'm like 5 hours east of you.
Also, I hope Will does find a good place to compete because he's got an incredible soul in Guilty Gear.
This one, man. I'm going to read it. These are not official stances of Shacknews. Right?
Oh, boy.
Oh, no.
Degas says, hope they saved enough money for new knee pads for Justin Wong. Woof.
Oh.
Yeesh. Claire says, okay, so we're in hell. Pineapple Hour says, get ready for EVO Riyadh, planned and organized via LLM. Good God. That sounds like a Bubbletron sentence. Oh, that is terrifying, but not that far from reality.
I mean, it's gonna be EVO Qiddiya City at some point. That's what it's gonna be. That's what they're getting ready for, is EVO Qiddiya City someday.
Yeah. Tyler, man, I don't know, man. I feel you, but I also don't want you to do this. I'd give a kidney for one thing I like to not get worse this year. Man, I feel you, but
yeah.
Just be the change you want, man. That's all I can say.
It's so early in the year. I got hope for different things.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's been plenty of rough things happening. But we got to keep hope alive out here in different ways.
Yeah. Kaiji says, well, Evo had a good run. You know, that's the thing, man. Things come and things go. But the spirit that created what is that beautiful thing that was Evo is not gone. And it can come back. Mm-hmm. Coney says, as always, go support your locals / other major events. You can carry on the spirit of EVO elsewhere, should you choose to do so. I like this energy. We're seeing a bit of this.
The proper energy, yes.
Yes.
Samara, sorry,
I'm 100%, 1000% okay with people springboarding off of our FGC news to post their locals.
Yeah,
that was a fun one to see earlier.
Yeah, and if you're watching this video wherever you are, just comment if you're doing a local or if you're looking for a local. Just let people know, hey, I'm looking for this. I want to get into this. Support your locals. Support your TOs, because it's not easy to organize these. It's expensive. Mm-hmm. It's time consuming. It is a challenge, and everything's getting more expensive. Samara Valentine. Somehow groups even more evil than your average megacorp, which are already pretty damn evil, are now trying to own all gaming, just like they are trying to own everything elsewhere. Things just keep getting darker. Yeah. Kithrin says, I'm so tired, man, with a picture of a very tired cat staring at someone pouring a drink. Foxhack, Dave Silva over there on Blue Sky says, may 1,000 eternal plagues fall upon everyone in that company.
Cursed.
Someone just posted a Tucker Carlson nesting "It's Over" gif. I'm already in hell, and it still finds new ways to be over. It's even more over than I previously thought. It's never been more over than it is now. It's over. I feel you, man. Here we go. Yaki, you guys should go to Texas Showdown. There you go.
Yeah,
I have been. It was a pretty good time. I would recommend.
It's a little mix of this, but JD says it keeps getting worse out here. What the fuck? I feel you, man. Lucky Star, fuck Evo, fuck Qiddiya, Qiddiya, Qiddoa. No, not Qiddoba.
Not Qdoba.
No, we like Qdoba. You don't need to spend $1,000 in registration and travel to attend a sports washing convention. Slashback, Climax, Frosty, Combo Breaker are much better events that actually value grassroots communities and are cheaper. Support smaller events. Yes. Wow, they had to steal RTS from me too. Fucking jerks. It wasn't good enough for you that MOBAs killed them.
That is a that is an interesting response because I wonder why they chose that name, but they're so involved in fighting games.
Yeah, fuck them legit supports grassroots. I appreciate that take from V. That's funny. It's just a grave with Link pointing at it saying "Get in." Another sad gif. Sounds bad, says Trix. Man, what do you even say at this point? Says freaking a sheet. It's just 100% burnout with the Ryu gif. Arrow Guy says, everything sucks and we can never have nice things. I mean, not going to argue with you. Support your locals. Great, EVO's going to get ruined like City of the Wolves.
That one burned. That one hurt me.
This certainly has been an era for fighting games. Inevitable but sad. CEO it is, says Antitoxin. Oh, well, says Aaron Plasma. And this is an interesting one. Alex Alchemy on Blue Sky says, apparently is going to Winter Clash 2026, says, and yet I see some of y'all still willing to go to EVO. Especially for VSAV, because it will be the biggest event for the game ever.
That's interesting. Yeah, I forgot about Vampire Savior.
Yeah. Despite the fact that they will leave y'all to dry out once again once the money is gone. They are not doing this for the benefit of the community at all. That's interesting.
I feel like that's pretty obvious.
Yeah. Man, I really loved watching EVO. Been a yearly ritual for 11 damn years for me. This is Oliver Meyer. Says, sucks to see EVO become a vehicle for sports washing. Sucks to see how little outrage over this I've seen in the FGC. I don't know about that, Oliver. Seems like people are mighty pissed. Anyways.
That's the whole premise of the video.
Anyways, Combo Breaker and Frosty are looking great right now. Yep. But here's the ukes. Gonna enjoy my first EVO because fuck myself, I guess. And then never go to another one ever again. LMFAO. As someone who already bought their ticket, I guess, and are now bummed out about that fact. EVO is now officially dead. Here's hoping enough people bail out that it burns completely. I don't think that's happening, unfortunately. Haley eats a ton of corn. Says, this sucks a ton. But I think as with previous round of buyout, the main message stays the same. Support your locals, engage with the community-led events, play with your friends. You don't need big events and companies. Just remember to engage with the C in FGC. Yep.
I would like to say something to the Ukes one, is that if you already bought the ticket, if you already booked your flight, if you already got your hotel, if you're going one way or the other, don't feel bad about it. Just go hang out with the people, go enjoy the games, and then whatever you decide after that is your decision. That's you make peace with yourself, however. But people, there's a lot of people out there that are going to be just like you that went out there, don't necessarily support what's going on, but they just want to hang out with other people and play fighting games. I just want to hang out with other people and play fighting games. I think a lot of us do. So don't hate yourself for going to EVO. Just enjoy what you can, and then be safe about it. Be sensible.
And don't attack these employees who had nothing to do with the people who are coming after Rick, or I know Alex Jabali. He's a TO at EVO now these days, and he helps with the production side, or the people in production. At some point, there's going to be this reckoning, and I think Sajam has kind of been leading it, Denny. But just focus your energy in the right place, I guess would be my message.
Yeah, that's always rough with the actual, when we get into the community side, and folks are very vocal, but they're vocal at, a lot of times the people that they see, in the scene, because that's what they're familiar with, and then, they're not used to screaming at execs and stuff like that, so instead they go the other route, and it's like, folks are trying to make sure that the people that do end up going to these events, are at least able to have, a functional event, and that part's not terrible. Yeah, direct that energy in the right place.
And then Luke says, shame I never got to go before all this, but I guess I'm sticking to Combo Breaker going forward. Hell yeah. Avocado Aficionado, love that username, says, stick a fork in EVO, it's done. Sad phrase from Yace. May says, still a little sad I couldn't go to EVO before all this happened, but hopefully my eventual first Combo Breaker or Frosty Faustings can help me get over that. Yeah.
Yeah, seeing the general consensus happening here, and it's been pretty clear amongst a lot of my friends too.
We're all looking at Combo Breaker. We're all just like, that's where we're in America. That's where we're looking. We're looking at Combo Breaker.
You got a positive word of mouth, and then the consistency involved, and the combination of both. Plus, we also have stuff like Gallup and Ghost Arcade, who are willing to bring in 50 of their cabinets out of hundreds just to play on. And so a lot of that scene in itself is pretty massive.
Here's some empathy for Rick, though. Rosen says, I do not envy Rick right now.
Yeah.
Hate to see it. Had such good memories there. God fucking, what do you even say anymore? Cool. How much in Bison dollars? Quote tweeted us. I love how much in Bison dollars. You ever post at them? They'll tell you the price of anything in Bison dollars, which is a made up currency from the Street Fighter movie with Raul Julia. But yeah. Cool, says how much in Bison dollars. Yeah, just in general, people calling for boycotts of viewership, boycotts of going. Yeah, it's bad, man. A lot of people calling for people to support Frosty, and yeah, here's the one. I saw this one. Mom over there on Blue Sky says, it's not all bad news. Depending on how it's run or overestimated, there's a long-running precedent the investors could lose a lot of money, and that would be very funny. EVO Japan lost 124 million yen in its 2018 debut. I don't think people realize just how much money the Saudi Arabian government and these Saudi-backed companies have. They have more oil than any other country on the planet, and they own a ton of U.S. treasuries, so they get paid a ton of interest from the U.S. government every year. They have a lot more money than I think people realize, and it's just kind of unfortunate. So if you think that's going to happen, Ozzy Mejia says, "Oh, this is bad." Shout out to Ozzy.
Thanks, Ozzy.
And then I want to end this. I don't even. We can look at Twitter if we want to, but I want to end the Blue Sky part of this. Michael Scaley, I want to point this out. I don't know if we've covered this today at Shacknews, but just in time for attendance to hit a record low because ICE just can't stop being racist Call of Duty cosplayers. It's a story about Ludovic Mbach, I hope I'm not butchering his name, was detained. Street Fighter players are trying to raise money to get him some legal help. So that happened, I think, in the last day. But yeah, that's what we had going on there on the Blue Sky. And then over on Twitter, man, just it's very similar. This is the beginning of the end of EVO. Pack it up. Grateful as fuck. Boosted. I agree with this. I'm grateful as fuck I got to go and experience it before they sold out. Me too, man. I feel like I caught that part of EVO where it was really at its apex. Where at Mandalay, right? In the arena at Mandalay. Unfortunately, it was during like Street Fighter 5, but I also got to see the rise of Arslan Ash, man. As like a Pakistani American gamer, that was so fucking cool. Like,
man, the hype was real.
That first year where he like, who's this guy? And like you see this giant Pakistani flag on the screen, like that was so cool, man. Like it's not national, it's patriotism. There's like patriotism at EVO, right? Because it is this international event. It truly was a magical thing to witness, and I am also grateful. Oni posted RIP EVO. Nightshades RIP EVO. Meg says them prize pools about to go insane. I don't know if that's true. I really don't know.
After you chop up the price to get there.
I don't know, because they already had pretty big investments in these last couple of years, and I was still seeing dudes posting their like 5th place and 6th place, which is basically like coupon for Steak and Shake and a car ride to the airport.
Yeah, and that's why you've seen so many of these esports players become content creators. There's more money in it, or at least it augments your income, right, in between tournaments, and you turn your labbing into content. Project Runaway says, EVO, are you going to lower prices now? Yeah, I don't know about that.
No.
Yeah, no.
CEO and Combo Breaker are now the premier tournaments, I guess. Library at Home says, support your locals. This is a horrid day for fighting game with a very sad dog gif. Another support your locals. Another support your locals and regionals. Uncle Dan with the I'm tired boss gif. I feel that. Paradise, Evo's dead. We go to CEO and Combo Breaker now. Support.
The stance is clear.
You know, that's what's interesting. It's like people are calling Rick out for his Evo involvement, but at the same time, they're like, let's go to Combo Breaker, which is run by Rick, and let's go to CEO, which is run by Alex, right? So it's like Alex and Rick both are kind of caught in the middle of this, but they're also running.
I don't understand like how some of these contracts work and stuff as well.
Yeah,
like, you think that you're gonna just walk out and how dare you support this and like.
Yeah, and there may be a non-compete clause for Rick, where if he leaves, like, he can't do anything. You know? Like, we don't know. We don't know his contract. I do wish that we could talk to these guys, but I'm sure there's some sort of gag order or NDAs involved in this stuff, too. Love going from winning EVO to being excluded from EVO, says Vogue FGC. That's a Guilty Gear XRD EVO champ. Mm-hmm. And they got a trans flag there in their bio. So hope the money was worth it. RIP EVO. Mike Metroid, just with that gif of the rubber ducky smoking a cigarette. I feel that. Everything you love will be turned into Saudi whitewashing. I mean, maybe. Ray says, cool, see you at locals. MVF Ram says, now it's truly done and over. EVO can kiss my ass. Karomi says, Saudi owned and 300 for registration. That's a no-go. Well, there's always CEO. Now, this is terrible news for people that have a problem with corporations involved in the FGC. The sports washing that's happening should be the real concern.
Folks were wary in different ways from, different corporations getting involved in different things, in the past. And then that became a bigger thing with Sony getting involved. And now we've reached this point as well. So it's proving some of that right.
This is hilarious, TJ. Yeah. Aldrin says, does anyone have an actual source that isn't this article, which doesn't provide one? There's no link. We were told this from EVO.
I said straight up at the top it was provided in a press release. I can't.
What are we supposed to do?
You expect them to read? What do you think this is? No time for that.
I need EVO to spit the news directly into my mouth. I don't trust anything on Twitter.
Look, I went to their website to see if they had a link for this, and even they don't. So I don't know what to tell y'all. Like I did my due diligence to go source EVO.
Yeah,
This was the
I
best.
don't think they're in a hurry to put up
Sorry.
any link to any of this information right now.
yeah.
I promise you guys, I tried to get a link for this, and they just did not have one.
Imagine providing the actual news to people.
Oh,
That's a
man.
crazy thought.
That was a good one, man. That was a really good one. I gotta say, sometimes Twitter, you still make me laugh with your jabooferdom.
And imagine my surprise when I'm like looking around about 30 minutes after this article comes out, and nobody else has hit this. What is happening? I don't know. Here's a link. I'm going to put it in the article so this person shuts up forever.
You found a link?
They finally posted it.
There you go. Congratulations.
I'm not serious, but like, yeah, I worked with what I had at the time.
Yeah.
So sorry.
We got, like, what are we supposed to do? The literal company that does the PR for EVO emailed TJ. That's your source. Which he said in the article. Anyway, dedicate. RIP EVO, slave labor tournament, combo breaker, the new EVO. I'm telling you, man, I nominate combo breaker because Chicago is cool. I don't really want to go to Florida. Like, no offense, Alex.
Come on, we got good hot dogs and pizza you can go on the side.
Yeah. It's still the Midwest. It's still a Great Lake, It's close. It's close to me. I can actually drive there. It's actually relatively affordable. There's a lot of reasons to want to go there. Inferno the Ant says, "Welp, who's ready for Combo Breaker?" Me. Skiff says, 4 replies, 53 quote retweets. It's more than that now, Skiff, but oh boy, I agree. Bruh, I swear I've seen EVO change hands like 6 times in the past 2 years. What the fuck? I agree. Michael Thomas, Beautiful Crow, says, long, heavy sigh. Oshi, 10 years as a commentator in the FGC, says, RIP EVO. Rip. Yep, that's it.
Well, sounds like EVO's been knocked out.
So it's I would say it's a combo of reactions, right, guys? Like it's a little bit of anger, right? And then it's a little bit of hyperbole. And then there's like a lot of constructive stuff about supporting locals and the community being stronger than any one tournament. And I agree with that, or tournament series.
Because people have had to do that for their individual games too when they're not getting the actual support, from bigger places. So it's like a lot of people are used to this when they're expecting more support for a game that may not be getting that love when it comes to the actual company end, or didn't do the sales that they wanted it to. So they're gonna just drop it off, and no more character or patching or any of that kind of stuff happening. So folks have been, running a lot of that stuff for a long time at local scenes and everywhere else. So in comparison, you see this breakdown now where it's like you got the angry folks, the press doom and gloom folks, and you got the people who are, thinking more positively and productively.
And then, we mentioned it at the top, but we mentioned it kind of throughout this whole video. And this went kind of long, but the other aspect of this, the LGBTQ plus community, and it's the impact and the concern specifically there as to their rights to be themselves, and how welcoming the FGC has been to that community versus the history of Saudi Arabia's behavior when it comes to that. And people like to make this about Islam and stuff. Like, I can tell you, I'm a Muslim man. I grew up Muslim. Most Muslim countries hate Saudi Arabia because they have perverted the religion to be about something that's more dictatorial. I'm kind of come from that judge not lest ye be judged kind of school of thought when it comes to that. And I think a lot of Muslims feel that way. So don't make this about Islam. This is definitely about the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And I can tell you there's a lot of people in the Muslim world, which is 1 billion people, who fucking hate Saudi Arabia too. So it's like, it's this barbell side of things, right? Because it's like, I get it. Because the most prominent people have been so hateful. But yeah, any religion is full of people who think a lot of different things, and yeah, it's not. I think Islam people like to view it monolithically. It's not. But yeah, as someone who's like 2 Pakistani immigrants for parents, and like I see how Pakistani people are treated over there in Saudi Arabia. Yeah, fuck Saudi Arabia, but it's like it's bigger than that. Like it's corruption. It's about giant corporations and corruption, and a government that murdered a journalist, an American journalist, covering that up by buying all these things that people like. Like, maybe if I buy this, maybe if I buy this, maybe if I buy this, they will stop hating me. Is kind of what's going on here. This is just another example of it.
And it's the uncheckedness of it that is so offensive. Like, there's nothing stopping them. There's nobody that's just taking a stand and saying you can't do that. And it's disheartening. It's disheartening for any like vulnerable group in this day and age to see what is clearly a giant uncontrolled bully running around and nobody is doing anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is a situation where, not to say that, the FGC is perfect or anything like that, but at the same time, it can be a safe space for people, especially, and it makes it really rare for there to be an international safe space for some of these events. People are able to come in, and have something they can, basically spend that time with other people around, like fighting games and all other, community-based events that are surrounding it as well. Meet new people in a safe environment and have that be, a situation where you got people that you can play with online and stuff like that from completely different countries afterwards, after, one single event. And now that's taken away to a certain extent.
Yep. So yeah, keep it locked on Shacknews. We'll keep reporting on these stories. I think this is kind of an endpoint, at least for now, right? Now it's like the pin action as a result of this. What's going to happen with how they operate these different tournaments? What games will be included? Because now, Saudi has influence over certain game companies, right?
Yeah.
So what's going to be included? What won't? Will companies take a stand and kind of pull their games out of EVO as a result of this? Probably not. There's a lot of money involved here. The other story, commentators, players, right? Like, where are they going to stand on this? I noticed in our mentions there were a few players talking, but not many. Definitely some commentators chiming in today. Not some regional TOs talking, but not the big ones. We haven't really heard from Alex or Rick today. I don't blame them. They're probably blindsided by this. I doubt anyone told them this ahead of time. Because they just work
I'm sure these questions will come up to you, with all of the, like you said, a lot of these players are content creators now, and I'm sure they're going to get asked. Yep. And we'll see if they have anything to say. Yep.
So, good job today, TJ, on reporting this. And yeah, thanks for joining me, Denny. But yeah, this is, sure. We don't normally do stuff like this, but it's a huge story, and it is a community story, and I think we kind of hit every angle of it. So we'll see you next time. Like, follow, and subscribe if you like this content. Go to shacknews.com to read more articles like this. We're not afraid to tell the truth at a time where the internet is scared these days, and we are.
Thank you for commenting.
Yep. Appreciate you guys. We'll hopefully not see you next time with terrible news. But yeah, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Peace.